Galnet News, your galaxy in focus, 9th of June, 3301. In today's news, the Dukes of Mikunn unveil Mercenaries Respite. The Code pledges to support Argon Delane. Chaotic tournament disrupted by federal security. The Merchant Marines announce their neutrality. Argon Armrend takes control as Angelia Imperial CEO. And the rising cost of getting high as federal freedoms tighten. Our top story today. The Dukes of Mikunn have unveiled Mercenaries Respite. Thanks to the efforts of the Mercenaries of Mikunn, who were assisted in their endeavour to colonize a previously uninhabited region of space by hundreds of independent commanders, the Dukes are pleased to announce the opening of a new station in the area previously known as Col 285 Sector VG1 B24-6. Over 1 million tons of metal were collected in Quati last month to help construct Mercenaries Respite, the Duke's newest Coriolis station. Remoteness from major high-tech hubs and attempts at bureaucratic power plays by the law party of HR 7327 are blamed for the delay in opening the Duke's latest military installation. The law party's assistance in constructing the station was initially offered in order to forge a lasting peace with the Dukes as part of a ceasefire agreement with regard to HR 7327. Ironically, the law party lost an election to the Dukes during the truce, leading to the Dukes gaining control of both HR 7327 and Col 285 Sector VG1 B24-6. B24-6, as the locals call it, has been renamed Cephris in honor of a fallen Mercs commander. The Dukes of Mikunn urge all those who may have business with either the Dukes or the Mercs to contact their agents aboard Mercenaries Respite in order to make the appropriate arrangements. The Dukes of Mikunn, who were exiled from the Empire many years ago, came to prominence some months back seemingly from obscurity when they began recruiting a force of mercenaries to aid their tiny system, Mikunn, in its expansion mission to the neighbouring HR 7327. The assembled force, which came to be known as the Mercenaries of Mikunn, has not only achieved the Duke's objective, but has had enormous success throughout the galaxy, becoming one of the most powerful organised militaries outside the control of a major galactic power. The completion of Mercenaries Respite gives the Mercenaries a base of operations away from the hustle and bustle of the more highly trafficked systems, and a power base in a previously uncolonised system for the Dukes themselves. The notorious pirate group known as The Code has announced its support of the Kumho crew, led by the infamous pirate lord Argon Delane. Self-proclaimed despot of the Pegasus sector, Argon Delane is considered as one of the most feared men in the entire galaxy. Under his rule, the Kumho crew has become a mighty criminal empire that now seeks to expand its influence to the neighbouring regions. According to a public statement from The Code, this pledge of support came after weeks of negotiation between the two pirate organisations. While Galnet cannot confirm their veracity, reports suggest that the agreement almost fell apart when questions were raised about the ownership of an expensive rum bottle and the virtue of a barmaid. After several productive bar fights, the matter was resolved and Captain Anopheles, leader of the Code, agreed to pledge the resources of his entire organisation to assist the Kumho crew's expansion in the region. This move by the Code has come as a surprise to some observers. Indeed, the pirate group has spent considerable resources in the last month securing the Lave cluster as an independent New Caribbean. Their successful support of the Reinhardt Intellisys Corporation during the conquest of Listi is still considered as one of their most high-profile achievements. Although the organisation will not completely abandon the region, its main focus in the near future will be to support Argon Delane in any way possible. A well-known spokesperson for the Code, Commander Sneaky Ninja, gave this ominous warning to those who may seek to stop Argon Delane. The galaxy will tremble and fall to its knees, and it will run out of booze shortly after. While conquering the galaxy may be an ambitious goal, the combined might of the Code and the Kumho crew is certain to make Argon Delane a figure to be feared across civilized space. Just 2 days ago, pilots from across inhabited space gathered at Cleve Hub in Eravate in order to participate in the Time of Chaos gathering. A group drone capture was followed by a new pilot's donation drive, and then station racing in standard shipyard Eagles. The first race saw Commander Lensflare win a narrow victory in the docking slot, but the second race saw a tie between Commander Molchad and Commander Kiavilagi that necessitated a final decider. Commander Kiavilagi claimed victory after an unfortunate miscalculation from Commander Malchad. The races were followed by gladiatorial one-on-one combat contests, for which combatants were permitted to outfit their eagles as they saw fit. Several qualifying rounds saw a final free-for-all round to decide a victor from amongst 5 finalists. An amazing display of piloting skill saw 2 finalists knocked out, when the showdown was interrupted by the arrival of federal security, who then began firing on the remaining finalists, observers, and umpires alike. The federal wing commander transmitted, "Break it up. These hooligans shooting each other up for entertainment. We won't have it." It was understood after the event that in the heat of the final, one of the combatants had unwittingly fired upon an observer, prompting an automatic crime report to be sent to the federal authorities. Since Commander Infernal Jawa's ship was the only eagle left standing after a chaotic skirmish with the feds, event organizers declared him the victor. The planned demolition derby to end the event was called off as a result of the intervention of federal security, but event organizer Commander Subsync commented, "Even though it started slow, I felt the event went pretty well, and we're looking forward to seeing more new faces at our next gathering." The Merchant Marines have officially announced last week their neutrality in the current power struggle between Federation President Zachary Hudson and Shadow President Felicia Winters. As one of the most important independent groups aligned with the Federation, this public announcement was highly anticipated by political commentators from everywhere in civilized space. In a statement to Galnet, Commander Bloodhawk from the Merchant Marines clarified their public stance on the current federal politics. He said, "Our organization continues to strive for a peaceful galaxy in service of our members and the Federation as a whole, and as such, we do not find it the best course of action to back any one politician." This neutrality, however, only extends to federal powers, as explained by Commander Bloodhawk, who went on to say, "We will aggressively defend the Federation and Merchant Marines' interests against any pilot acting on behalf of foreign powers, and particularly the Merchant of Death, Denton Patrius." The Merchant Marines were previously praised as heroes by then Shadow President Zachary Hudson after the group blockaded an Imperial system of Eotensas on April 24th. This blockade, called Operation Papercut, attempted to stop traders from supporting the construction of high-tech industries in Senator Denton Patrius's home system. Following the recent news that CEO de Morgues of the Empire-based organization Angelia Imperial was to step down with immediate effect, his replacement, Argon Armrend, has now taken over the lead role in the organization. Galnet understands that Armrend has now settled in at Nelda in the Angelia Imperial home system of Wangal, and made a statement to the press upon his arrival, in which he said, "It is time to get back to work. The Angeli will be remaining loyal to Senator Patrius, however we will be pursuing our own goals at the same time, whenever the Empire needs assistance." Armrend went on to state that the organization's immediate goal was to take control of all corporate factions in a 15 light-year radius of Wangal, to further tighten its grip on the immediate area. Armrend's appointment as CEO is a subject of much interest to many due to the relatively scarce background information available. He has no military background, and is not from Wangal or any system in the immediate vicinity. His means of gaining the top spot at Angelia Imperial remain a mystery. And in other federal news, in reaction to the changing political landscape in the Federation, many systems have begun taking a much firmer stance against the supply and distribution of illegal narcotics. Traditionally, prohibition has served to do nothing more than increase the risk and reward for those involved in the trade of prohibited materials. This time appears to be no different. With the supply no longer adequately able to meet the demand, many buyers are being forced to pay prices that would have been unimaginable just weeks ago. While stricter penalties and additional costs may be enough to dissuade infrequent users, for the vast majority the question of cost is less an issue of if and more a question of how. Smugglers across the galaxy have seen their profits rise by as much as 5,000% in the last couple of weeks, with many expecting that profits will continue to rise as more and more systems begin to crack down on the delivery of illicit goods to their stations. That's the Galnet news for today. Tune in next time to keep your galaxy in focus.